Okay, here's how I want to go about doing this, because I do have thoughts on the NBA All-Star Weekend in totality, but I really don't like being the negative Nancy. When it's necessary, we'll do that. But I got the ultimate appreciation for these athletes and the greatness that they possess day in, day out. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm able to cover, about a couple hundred of the greatest in the world at doing something that so many of us love and have done a lot of our lives, which is, at the end of the day, playing basketball. These are the greatest doing that. And though you may have frustrations with the NBA, I don't like being the negative Nancy. I've been a little negative over the weekend. What up, y'all? I'm yours truly, FERRO. Thank y'all so much for tapping into this video. We're reacting to every single game that took place on NBA All-Star Sunday night. So this is technically the NBA All-Star game, but it was split up into 3 games as Karl-Anthony Towns nails the deep 3. If you really want to support me, subscribe to the channel and then tap in with my sponsor, Underdog. Use my promo code FERRO. It helps me and my family out a lot, all right? With that being said, we're going to do all 3 games. This is Kenny versus Chuck. Again, new format. The target score is 40. So essentially these teams were put together a week ago. Kenny, Chuck, and Shaq voted, and then Candace has a team that we'll discuss in the second game more in a second. But yeah, there was a couple guys missing. So Anthony Edwards was supposed to be on Team Kenny, I believe, just didn't show. They said he's dealing with a groin injury. Apparently he was in the locker room for a lot of this. We'll talk about all that more in a second. For now, though, let's see what we got. We got a 26-25 game. Target score of 40. So, I mean, this is not going to be long as Jalen Williams gives the Team Kenny in blue the lead. Chuck put together pretty much a team of guys that are not from the country. I think he's trolling there, in my opinion, as Jokic finds Victor Wembanyama for the very nice alley-oop. 34-27, Team Chuck is your score. Wembanyama, give him a lot of credit. First-time All-Star, young fella took this game really serious. A lot of him, look at him, like even trying to blockade there. Nobody's trying to do that in an All-Star game, at least not of late. SGA gets a look, and now Team Chuck is 1 point away from taking care of business here in the first of 3 games, NBA All-Star Weekend. I do want to put out there, though, after this game, there is a bit of a break. And then after the second game, there's a bit of a break. A lot of people complain about the breaks in between this one. So Jaren Jackson in an interview with Taylor Rooks, so you got to take that with a grain of salt when guys do interviews with Taylor Rooks. He tried to pick up SGA full court, but then there's nobody there to, like, really stop SGA at the rim. So, yeah, a pretty lackluster finish there. Team Chuck gets the victory. They advance to the finals, and they will face the winner of this game, which was Team Candace against Team Shaq. So Team Candace was comprised of the winners of the Rising Stars Challenge on Friday night. So the young fellas get to take the court with the OGs because Team Shaq is comprised of mostly guys that have won big in this league, had a lot of success. These are all max guys. Keep in mind, LeBron was supposed to be out here for Team Shaq, but he was a late scratch, as he announced in a presser right before. Damian Lillard gets a look. He was really good in game 1. He nails a 3.
He's about to go to work, and we gonna go in
look
the
at this one. Oh, yeah. Who was that? I missed who that was. Sorry about that. Kyrie was really good throughout. Kyrie was my dark horse for MVP in this one. I thought he played really well. But this dude has something to say about that. It's Stephen Wardell Curry. Team Shaq's up by 1. Amin Thompson, I believe that's Amin, inside to Dog Connect, who was a Laker, then Hornet, now Laker again. Now he's on the Rise and Skills Challenge. What a week for him. Sure, a lot of emotions as Kyrie finds his former teammate Jaylen Brown. We got that Celtics trio on the court. Beautiful move. Who is that? I'm sorry, y'all.
Curry out of the pack. Brown up ahead. Jaylen
Oh, okay. Oh, I should know that. That's Wells from my Memphis Grizzlies, my hometown team. 32-28. It was the jerseys that threw me off, y'all. Sorry. Okay, Kyrie finding Jaylen Brown again. Target score is 40. Remember that. Oh, Wells showing out. Oh, was Ryan Dunn that time? These jerseys and the haircuts throwing me off, man. Oh, that's cold-blooded from Dame Dollar. Oh, turnover here. Team Candace got a chance. 4-point game.
Just get a basket. There you go.
Yeah, that's too easy. There's really nobody big on the court down the stretch for Team Candace.
No, you can just let that. All right, game time now.
Yeah, this ain't it. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying my best, but this, sheesh, man. It's just tough to get into this. Like, Dame goes game to appease his, I guess, technically GM coach Shaq. So we now have the decisive game 3 in the 2025 All-Star game from San Francisco. It is Team Shaq in blue versus Team Chuck in red. Essentially, it is the OGs of the NBA against the international stars of the league. I mean, and technically cats from technically he played out of the country. So there's that, and Donovan Mitchell not so much, but hey. It's 11-3, so Team Chuck came out super sluggish. Mitchell, Wembanyama, I give Victor a lot of credit, man. He trying to set the tone, dog. But it takes the OGs. We're going to talk about Wembanyama in a second. Look at Wemby. 14-8, Kyrie. Oh, nobody's there to clean that up, though. Nobody's there to help Cat out. Jokic was awful in this game. I mean, he was bad. I'm serious. Him and Luka, I know Luka wasn't there this year. Man, he was bad. They just don't take these games serious. They just don't know where to fit in on the court if they don't have the ball in their hands most of the time. That's a problem to me. Look at Kyrie. Nasty move. So, like, when I'm watching this game, right, technically the game didn't go too much. If you're a fan at this event, it didn't go too much shorter than a typical game, right? So there was like 40 minutes of technically basketball play. Usually, obviously, an NBA game is usually 48 minutes. But it just felt so much shorter, right? And I thought Jalen Williams, a first-time All-Star for the Oklahoma City Thunder, I thought he had a great point. He was like, yo, there's just not a lot of shots. As Steph Curry lines one up from 3 to prove Jalen's point, he's like, yo, I'm trying to get minutes with guys who don't miss a lot of shots. And we have a target score of 40. So there's not a lot of shots. Look at Kyrie, though. The best play of the game is him going self-alley. Oh, yeah. Trae Young with the nutmeg. And a beautiful dime. Shout out to Trae making the game once again as a replacement. Again, this is the bread and butter of the game. It's 30. We're at 30. You know, like, at some point, Team Chuck would have to, like, play defense. It just never happened. You know the defense is bad when Harden's making shots in an All-Star game. Look at this, bro. Like, again, y'all, think about this. This is pretty much like 4 minutes left in a basketball game right now. But look at the defenses being played. I don't think this works without a clock. I don't think this works, dog. Again, pretty much, Team Chuck is down 17 points with like 90 seconds to go right now. Think about that. This is what this game is. It's like, this is the last possession of the game. This is game, y'all. I'm trying my best, but that just, we'll talk about it. So a lot of people are complaining about NBA All-Star Weekend 2025, especially the game in which we saw 3 different games take place, and they were all short. So by the time a lot of us were able to get into it, and I think even the players, the game was already too far out of hand. The target score of 40 was pretty low. I thought Jalen Williams described it perfectly. He was like, yo, bro, these are guys that don't miss a lot of shots, and we're already not playing a lot of defense. So the game goes by super quick. The broadcast ran for like 3 hours, but we only got about 30 minutes of basketball, 40 minutes of basketball. A lot of fans are not happy about NBA All-Star Weekend 2025. And again, when fans give their time to something and they don't like the product and they feel like they're getting cheated, then that's when we start to comment on the things that we're getting and critique the product. I'm not going to blame the players that played. I'm not going to blame the production. I'm talking about the people that actually made this thing make it to air. What I am going to blame is the league, though, dog. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Adam Silver and company got to take this one on the chin. You know, you created this format, to me, essentially as a punishment to the NBA and its players for the last few years. But to me, you got to find better ways to punish. Because at the end of the day, you still need the players to cooperate. In my opinion, the only way you do that is by staying true to fines, staying true to stuff throughout the season. If people took the commission a little more serious, then I think that would manifest into the product that you see on the court night in, night out, including all-star games. But I think the number one problem is the players just don't take the league serious. So the league tried to punish the players. And to me, in return, the people that got screwed the most was the fans. We got a pretty lethargic all-star game. We didn't get to see guys score 30, 40, 50 points. We got 3 pretty bad scrimmage games. I mean, you can go to any YMCA in the country and find better basketball being played, more competitive basketball being played. These are the greatest hoopers in the world, bro. And that all-star game, in any of the 3 games that we saw played Sunday, it didn't seem like we were looking at the best hoopers in the world do what they're better than anybody else at. Those are my thoughts. I mean, if you want me to break it down even more, I mean, we could talk about different things. A lot of fans mad at LeBron because he was a last-minute scratch. I'm not as mad at LeBron for not being able to compete in the All-Star game because I've told y'all before, the NBA relies too heavily on LeBron James catered storylines. So when LeBron, who's made the All-Star game 20 years in a row, last minute lets you know, yo, I'm 40. I can't play in this game. My ankle's acting up. Now fans, even ones that don't even like LeBron, are looking around at like, yo, what am I going to hate on for 30 minutes? Because every NBA storyline starts and finishes with LeBron, even if you're a hater. So there's nothing to watch because there's nothing to sink your teeth into. The games are too short to get into player points so we can really follow who's going to be the MVP. I'm not mad at LeBron. He's held me down for 20 years in the All-Star game. My question is, where's Ja at? Where's Zion at? Anthony Edwards apparently just didn't show up to the game. Those are the questions that I got. I'm not going to blame the guy who literally has been at the All-Star game more than anybody else, who's done it more years than everybody else. The fact that you're even having a convo about LeBron is because he's always at the All-Star game and pretty much always available throughout his career. It's not LeBron's fault. What else we had? Draymond Green, for 3 hours, was paid by Inside the NBA / Turner to pretty much crap on the product. I mean, it was in his backyard in San Francisco. He plays for the Warriors. Draymond, pretty much every step of the way, since there were so many breaks in the game, let you know he didn't like the format of the game. He called it trash. He talked about how when he was an all-star for the first time, how hard he worked to get there, and then said the young players shouldn't have been there. The Rising Stars winners shouldn't be playing on Sunday because they haven't earned the right to play on Sunday. I actually agree with that. I mean, Draymond pretty much crapped on the product. This was Turner's last year hosting this game, this sport. And if I'm the NBA, it's like sayonara, because y'all hire people that crapped on the product. That's part of the reason why the business ain't worked out, because too many people believe that Inside the NBA, the greatest show I've ever watched, but they're too intertwined with crapping on the product. And maybe they're just being honest, but at the end of the day, their job is to respect the product. And by the way, Draymond's still playing in the product that he's crapping on. There were just so many things. I mean, look, Kevin Hart. I love Kevin Hart. People say, yo, bro, I cannot believe you're a fan of Kevin the way you are. He ain't funny. I respect the business acumen of the brother. Kevin Hart usually delivers when he's put on the grandest stages to be a host, a moderator, to be some comedic relief. He didn't deliver NBA All-Star Game 2025. The jokes wasn't hitting at all. You know, the fact that they had him be a part of the tribute to the Inside the NBA, it wasn't good. Say what you want. It wasn't good. It felt like that moment deserved a more serious host to respect what Chuck, what Ernie, Kenny, and Shaq have been to the game of basketball, for good or for bad, from an entertainment perspective over the last couple decades. Kevin's jokes wasn't hitting. Nobody was laughing. It just felt like for the first time, in my opinion, as a fan of Kevin's, he just got this gig the day before and just came in unrehearsed, ill-prepared, which he never is. Feels like the NBA just like, yo, bro, Kevin, get out there and do you for about 3 hours, and it'll hopefully be good. That wasn't the case. And again, the fact that we're talking about everything outside of the game because there was nothing to talk about in the game, I mean, it's a huge problem, man. We're spending way too much time talking about what's wrong with the NBA than loving and appreciating this beautiful product. That's a problem. Let me know your thoughts, man. I'm open to conversations. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know where we go from here with this thing, but I think a new format has to come next year, and it has to have a clock. Like, clearly these guys needed a clock. You need time. People need to know how much time they got left so they can take the game more serious by the minutes. These are guys that have played with clocks their whole life, all right? They need a clock to know how much time they can acquiesce runs instead of a target score, in my opinion. I'm out. If you love flexing your sports knowledge, you should head over to the best place to play fantasy sports and win some money while you're at it. That's Underdog. For me, I love the pick'em game. It's super simple to play too. All you got to do is go to the Underdog website or app. You got to pick whether a player will have a higher or lower stat line for that specific game. You get your picks right, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. And when you sign up, if you use your boy's promo code, which is FERRO, your deposit will get matched up to $1,000 is available to you in bonus cash. You can't beat that. Tap in with Underdog. My promo code is FERRO.